This is the continuation of speech to text and text to speech project that can be a part of build your own AI project. If you want to build your own artificial intelligence, that means so-called artificial intelligence, you need input and output system. So speech to text and text to speech is the base and bare minimum input output system to interact with humans, so that human can naturally speak their own language and computer can have their own computation and process, and the program can get back their reply in audio format. So why you need to build your own AI? There are 3 or 4 reasons could be there. The first must be like to have your own freedom, to get the ownership, to be self-reliant. Safety, security, privacy, those are simple terms. I don't want to mention those 3, but being independent is the most important one. Why? Parents like me tries to make their children and future generation to be independent, so that the future generation becomes less reliant on their parents. Why? Because parents won't be there in near future. Think like that, what would you do without those big tech companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft? You won't be able to drive your car, you won't be able to surf through the internet, you won't be able to do pretty much any digital task without those big tech companies. So it's better to start today and try to make something, some tools, some experience, some knowledge by yourself. There are a lot of freedom oriented people you will find. Free and open source community are also there by on your side, so there is no way you will be held back. So starting from now onwards, let's try to create and make some technologies, tools, knowledge and experience so that we can move forward. Now let's focus on text to speech. As of yesterday I was discussing regarding the speech to text. Today I found out there are a very few option I have as far as the TTS is concerned. Like I have found this one, then Piper and Mimic, and Mozilla's TTS. I have found it is very old technology. So for now, my best choice is Piper because it consumes very less CPU to process data, and right now it is having multiple language support. It even runs on Raspberry Pi, not only the updated ones, even it successfully runs on 6-year-old Raspberry Pi or its equivalent Banana Pi or various types of devices. I have tested 3 or 4 devices. Each and every device is a successful runner of this Piper application. That gives me enough confidence that if I build something using this one, it will be a smooth run on each and every Android devices out there. So right now I will continue to use this one. I have found this one, I felt like it do not have enough compatibility in my testing, so I proceed with Piper. Using Piper, such a breeze. You just download any of the release binary. It even supports ARM v7. You download all those speech model. You can download all those speech model from here and you will be good to go. Still some of the task remains, like how do I add my own voice? Like this one is lacking more or less all of the Indian origin languages like Hindi, Bangla. I have found Nepali is there, so I believe training or creating another voice to this model would not be so much difficult. In hope of creating additional language models, I will continue to use this one. So right now I am in a documentation stage. I am documenting all those steps and simultaneously creating scripts so that this can be tested widely, and I will be even able to sell this as my services on Silicon Pin, and I will try to make all those documentations on the Silicon Pin topic section so that other people can get to know all those steps, and people out there will be surprised to know that all of these technologies are so easy. If I am able to do this, you will be able to do that very easily. And all those source code I will be posting over on Silicon Git. Like over here, I'll provide all those source code. Along with my journey, I have found few people like they are also conscious about their freedom, especially digital freedom. Like this one, he has mentioned like some companies are always listening to you and they are keeping all those data, voice data, along with those annotations, that means texts. So those are still available till the date. And I think those habituations of those companies will continue to go along. And this person mentions that since 2008, his voice is getting recorded over their servers. And here he also mentioned regarding the photo keyboard, especially the voice input. And I have gone through those codes and I found out it is a technology based on TensorFlow. So along with the TensorFlow, I think it is using Google's native API calls. Still, I'm not sure, but I have found they are using TensorFlow technologies. So later on, I will also be able to adopt those technologies. Let's test this one by doing a curl post. See, I have tested this one various times. The last time it was a success. As you see, it took around 0.1 second and it has delivered the audio file using hello world. And this time also it should work. Let's see if it works. Yes, I think it did work. Yes, it apparently it worked. So I'll be posting those scripts to my Silicon Git. So out there, any people, if they want, they can get it from here. Why not posting to the GitHub? Because I don't like the current owner company. I used to like Atom a lot, but I don't like VS Code nowadays. You must be clever enough to understand why. But I have found this one, the Z editor. It is very much fine and very much performant, less memory hungry, because these do not use any kind of V8 engine under the hood. So it becomes light. It supports like shell integration built in. It supports file view, that means opening a project. It supports Git integration, and I'm not sure about this outline panel and collab panel, but I think those are pretty much interesting and expect those to be a very helpful one. Sign in, I don't like to get signed in until unless it is very much needed. Meanwhile, let's talk about MD editor. Till the date, I used to write in simple text format all my to-dos and important informations. Writing on HTML or in doc format seems very hard to me, but MD is a nice and decent format, having less typing to do. But I was wondering if Linux or Unix descendant operating systems do have one MD editor, like simply I will type and the output would be visible, similar to this stack edit application. But I did not find one. I even asked the DeepSeek, it provided a list. I tried to install those. I see remarkable was not there. I have tested still. Let's try again. I see it's not here. Let's try if yes, I see Ghostwriter is there. Wonder if it would be a Ghostwriter. Okay, let's see if I can install Ghostwriter. It is asking me to have CMark and MathJax, JavaScript display engine for the mathematical interpretation or symbols, I think. CMark, common mark parsing and rendering library programs in C. So it must be something like C API would help those tools. Okay, let's try to install this one. This is the reason why I like Unix Descendant. Installing software is so much fun and reliable, and all those codes, majority of them are free and open source. So a lot of people out there are watching if someone is doing any nasty things. By the way, I must mention one exception, like it was the biggest exception, having a backdoor within the SSH program itself. So somehow it was detected by a Microsoft employee. That is ridiculous. Okay, let's try Ghostwriter. Oh yes, it seems very interesting. Let's see if is sample title. But as I understand, single hash is nearly equivalent to h1, and the main header, it is capitalizing all those characters by default. And what if I want a list like thing? This is working. Yes, Ghostwriter. I think I have found one lovely piece of software called Ghostwriter. By the way, let's discuss why I always used to say so-called AI, not the AI. Like in 21st century, each and everyone likes to believe that those text and image generators and video generators are literally AI, but it is not. Why? Because intelligence, you must understand what is intelligence. Intelligence can manipulate data, it can produce data, it can perform various tasks based on those data. But intelligence is not data. But in today's days, each and every self-claimed AIs are made out of data. Those are simple programs and they fed a lot of data. And if you are thinking like DeepSeek is a AI, no, it is not. It can fetch a lot of data very efficiently. Like it is SQL on steroid or autocorrect on steroid. Those words are much better defining today's AI. I remember one more important piece of software. The name of the software is Local Stack. A lot of people out there are using this piece of software. Even my company, I found two of us are using this one. Why? Because it reduces our AWS bill for some kind of automation testing. That's it. So the local stack do not provide any kind of stack. It just imitate. It just acts like a AWS API endpoint within a browser. That's it. If you go and visit this website, see this comment from Michael Hashimoto, the co-founder of HashiCorp. He has created some kind of better stack that called Terraform. So this Terraform is a incredible piece of software. This is also a very useful tool, but it is not any kind of stack. So if you rename this local stack to like demo AWS endpoint or local AWS endpoint or similar, like mimicking AWS endpoint, those would be much better name. Regarding this point, I would also like to remember one more epic incident like Windows. We have Windows in our home, we have Windows in our computers, especially if you are using any GUI operating system. So I have this window, I have multiple window to take a look into this piece of software like we do from or outside of our house. So I'm not sure how Windows, the term is a registered trademark of Microsoft. I would not mind if they register the word called Microsoft Windows. So it becomes easier to understand what is the technology. This is the proprietary technology of Microsoft. It is very understandable, but I don't understand why they make simple words into a proprietary thing. Enough for today. Let's continue tomorrow. Can make and let's see what progress I can make.